In this video, I'm talking about everything that you missed in the College Football 26 gameplay deep dive. Now, we've literally all been in this situation before. I'm on the road right here at DKR in Texas, and I need to get my halfback blocking because my opponent's setting some pressure at me. But every time I try to, my halfback just goes on a different route, and it's just a massive pain to be able to finally hot route him. I'm running out of time, I have to snap it, and then this blitz comes in, and we just get sacked. We have no shot at blocking this or even winning this game, really. Well, this year, things are a little bit different in College Football 26. Where you line up matters. Hot route disruptions now come with added context and depth. They scale based on your receiver's distance from the quarterback, meaning wide receivers lined up furthest away are impacted the most, and the deeper your route concept, the higher the risk of miscommunication and confusion. Pre-snap adjustments feel situational, exactly as they do on Saturdays. You'll think twice before checking at the line, and you'll work harder to maintain this composure. I actually got the chance to talk to the developers about what their goal was with this, and they agreed with the tweet I had a little while ago of, when you're in this situation, I should be able just to look at my halfback and tell him to block. And instead, right now, in College Football 25, he goes on a random route, whereas, I need him to block, right? And he's right next to me. I should be able to do that. In College Football 26, we are going to be able to do that. Same with anybody like a tight end who's right next to the line of scrimmage or, only a few yards away from the QB. But it's going to be harder to be able to do it with a wide receiver who's far outside. So like we look at, let's say, Sambucci. That's a sick name. It's going to be really hard to be able to hot route him in College Football 26 because he's so far away. But Nixon, we should be able to block him or put him on whatever route we want to do very easily, which is a huge quality of life thing. It makes the game a lot more realistic, and it just makes playing these tough road games a little bit easier, which I'm a big advocate for. And real quick, if you want to lock in for College Football 26 and actually win a lot of games, you need to check out my website, civil.gg, where we have over 2,000 active members, where over 98% of them say they've won more games since joining. On civil.gg, you'll unlock full offensive and defensive schemes that will actually help you win more games, and they're easy enough for anybody to be able to run. Right now, you can lock in a full year for 40% off by using the link at the top of the description and using code COLLEGE40. That means today you can secure yourself a full year's worth of content to make sure you're always able to win more games and have the best tactics available whenever you need them. Again, the link to that is in the top of the description. Now, I'm huge on rewarding the user. If I do something perfect in the game, I want rewarded for this, and this is something I can vouch for from playing the game a little bit early, okay? Knockouts. Let's talk about what they talk about here with EA. The timing and aiming mechanics from last year's hit stick tackles have been expanded to every one-on-one tackle scenario, including strips, cuts, lunges, wraps, swat catch tackles, and wrap catch tackles. By putting control directly into your hands, your skill as a player can significantly influence broken tackle outcomes, knockouts, strips, and forced fumbles. The key word here is knockouts. What this is saying, what I have felt from playing the game, is that if you are able to time this hit stick as, ball goes to receiver's hands, just gets there, and you're able to time that hit stick perfectly, and you have the correct angle, you are at a much higher chance of knocking that ball out. And I think as a user, if you time that perfectly, you should be rewarded for that. So I'm a huge advocate for this. It's also helping defense, in which last year it was an offensive shootout. I'm very pro helping defense in College Football 26. EA just confirmed something for College Football 26 I've always been iffy on and just not sure if it was in the game or not. We're talking about swatting, but it's something specific. Right here, I'm going to lob up this streak to B, and then I'm going to go for the swat with the defender. Now, in College Football 26, this is what EA says that the SWAT mechanic is going to do and why you should use it instead of going for picks, which I do often. So the header is SWAT or pick, choose wisely. Swatting the ball returns to prominence this year. And the big key here is that SWATs take defenders to the highest point, giving you a better chance to disrupt catches in tight windows. Picks are still possible, but only if you're in the right phase, looking at the quarterback and perfectly positioned. I think about this a lot for different situations where my defender is just barely behind a receiver. And I think now we have to see how it plays. That's the big thing. But they are trying to push for people to go for more swats. They're giving us more range on swats. A ball now is basically reading a ball that you can't pick, right? You might miss and the receiver might catch if you go for a pick. You now can swat and, make that incompletion, which is a really big deal on certain throws. So from playing the game early, I can 100% confirm that this is absolutely a thing. And this is that options, and especially like speed options of pitches, are really, really good. Watch what happens right here with Rice. We're going to run a triple option out of flex bone pistol. It's a new play, new formation. And he's going to get a pretty good pitch out of the tackle. This is through contact. And for a while, this was bugged in College Football 25. It looks like this was a priority for them in College Football 26. I've seen a few clips of this, and just so I'm again playing myself, I can confirm that these pitches, even if you time it like right here, where you're kind of getting he's getting obliterated, he still gets an accurate pitch. And if every QB can do that, I think some of this option game can be really, really good in this next game. Another one here from this gameplay deep dive that I missed when I played the game early, but is in the game, and I've confirmed kind of why this is this kind of weird camera angle. We see it right here in Penn State's playbook. This they're talking a lot about Penn State because it's I think it's called the swinging gate formation, and this we end up getting a rollout corner. But the reason for this camera angle, which I do believe is optional and you can kind of tie it in, is that with a lot of these wide formations that we have right now in College Football 25, it's very hard to see the entire field. This is a different camera angle to help us with it. Now, whether or not we're going to love this or hate this, I don't know. What I'll say is that I don't love how the wide formations are, like the camera looks on the wide formations right now in College Football 25. So a better camera angle is absolutely welcomed. So what I haven't heard talked about a ton is that if you hit up on the D-pad, you'll bring up this on-field substitution screen. You've probably actually seen that, but the use case that I like for this so much is that you can actually see the stamina and the wear and tear status of each player on the field. Right here, we see our first three players, Retzlaff, Hunga, and Bachmeier. Those are tough names. Are all totally good. But then we look at Phillips and Hagen, and they're both kind of they're getting after it out there. They're not a great spot. And what I really think the use case is here is when players get on that like kind of edge where they're at. There's 5 total bars. So when they get into like the 3-4 area, and you can start seeing that, oh, my halfback's starting to get tired. Let me take him out now before he starts taking some bad rating penalties for getting too worn and torn. This is a pretty cool thing. I don't know if I'll use this a ton to actually make subs on the field. Instead, I'll use it to see, okay, where are my players at? And I'll probably make a lot of substitutions in the actual play call screen. But I thought that was a really cool use case for this guy. I like being able to see where my players are at. And you can also see where they're hurting. Right foot, left leg, etc., etc. In the game last year, and I really just super overlooked it, and they've expanded upon it some, so I want to talk about this really for my own sake, and I hope it will be helpful for you. More than just a rating. Last year, toughness rating determined how much damage a player took to a specific body part after contact. This year, we've taken that a step further. Now toughness also affects recovery, dictating how quickly each body part heals over time. So now essentially, their toughness rating is not only just like how well do you avoid wear and tear, it's when you get worn and torn, how quickly do you recover? I don't know if last year if everybody recovered at relatively the same rate. I genuinely don't know. But now, toughness seems like it's going to be a pretty big deal. That means the same rating that helps a player absorb hits also plays a direct role in how fast they'll bounce back. It's a deeper, more realistic reflection of what toughness truly means in college football, and I actually totally believe that. Like I 100% agree. So I think it's a cool change and something to keep in mind when you're deciding who's going to play for you, right? Or what to expect of each player. If you have a halfback with really low toughness, he's probably not going to be able to get the ball every single play. If you have a halfback who has 99 toughness, he might be a workhorse, right? So in College Football 25, we have what's called auto motion plays, okay? And the idea of this, if you look at it, is just like when you snap the ball, right? Press A or X, you're going to get this auto motion, and then the ball will get snapped. With these auto motion plays, there's only one guy ever in motion at a time, okay? Or on any given play. Now, in College Football 26, they've added in double motion plays. Now, what I don't know is that if we're going to be able to double motion, like, casually with ourselves, like, where I motion this guy, and I'm able to motion somebody else, or if it's only in built-in plays. I've seen it. So far, I've only seen it when I've played on built-in plays. But regardless, I think it's cool because it adds a lot of flexibility to different formations where they become a lot different, right? If you make 2 motions to any given formation, it becomes a drastically different formation. The way it's worded here makes me think that we can do this manually on any play. It doesn't need to be an auto motion play. That's, a motion that's built into the play call because it says for the first time ever, you can move multiple players pre-snap. That means you can mimic the chess match seen in real film from programs like Georgia Tech, Penn State. Whether it's sequential motions or dual motions at once, you can now shape shifts and formations to stress the defense before the snap even happens. The way he keeps on saying you can do this makes me feel like we have the flexibility to do it, and it's not solely built in play calls, although that just isn't 100% confirmed yet on my end. Regardless, I love anything that adds diversity and funness. We'll say funness to playbooks, and this definitely does that. We're kind of circling back to the idea of toughness right here because the cost of greatness. abilities and wear and tear integration. So basically, how do abilities and wear and tear like go in with one another? This year, we've also deepened the strategic connection between the ability system and the wear and tear mechanic. First of all, every physical ability now categorizes into either upper or lower body. So every ability, so we have something like, let's say, takeoff. Takeoff is either going to be an upper body thing or a lower body thing. In this case, takeoff probably lower body because it has to do with speed. As a player's wear and tear accumulates throughout the season, they can lose up to 2 tiers on the corresponding ability. While significant drops are rare, this introduces a crucial layer of strategic roster management, challenging coaches to balance aggressive play and player preservation. I will say, the way it's worded seems like it's only for Dynasty. I would not hate seeing this in gameplay where if you have a star wide receiver, star halfback, super worn and torn, he's also losing those physical abilities up to 2 tiers of them. And also, I feel like 2 tiers is really fair, right? If someone's at, right, because there's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, if someone's at platinum something and they're super worn and torn, they probably don't lose that ability to do whatever they're doing, right? They're still that guy, but they're going to do it at more of a silver tier. And I think that's actually really fair. So I'd like to see if it's not. The way it's reading is I assume it's only in Dynasty. I would not hate to see this in actual gameplay, right? I personally would. One of the big things that was tough this past year was open field tackling. I wanted it to be easier to open field tackle, but I wanted to do it in a way that didn't make offense worse, right? I just want to make defense better. And I'm curious, I think these two things go into that, or especially really this one, right? Where we have wrap catch tackles. So DBs who aren't heavy hitters now have the ability to wrap receivers up securely at the catch point. This provides a more realistic and strategic way to neutralize threats without needing to deliver a big hit. That's kind of whatever. More so, in-range lunge content. I don't know why it says content here, but in-range lunge tackles. Lunging tackles no longer forces defenders to leave their feet. Players can now make controlled lunges while staying upright, adding another layer of realism to open field tackles and increasing defensive responsiveness. This literally is attacking exactly what I want to attack. Adding another layer of realism to open field tackles scares me because in real life, open field tackles are very hard. But increasing defensive responsiveness gives me a little bit of hope. I very much am hoping that this makes it a little bit easier. A little bit, but I'm careful because open field, you get ball carrier, right? An elite ball carrier in the open field one-on-one with the defender. It's probably going to win a lot of the times. With that being said, I did feel like it was a little bit too easy this past year to make people miss, especially with like bad ball carriers. And it almost didn't. I felt like it didn't matter who you had as the defender trying to make the tackle. Everybody was just left in the dust, no matter who they're going up against. This is a cool one. Right now, if you want to make any offensive line adjustments, you have to hold left bumper or L1 on PlayStation. Then we use, wow, that guy's going crazy. Then we use left stick or right stick, okay? Well, now in Couch World 26, what we're going to be able to do is purely with the right stick, we can tap it in one direction, right or left, whatever we want to do, to half slide that way. Or we can double tap it. Bang, bang, right? And that'll actually get the full slide going that way. So instead of having to hold left bumper, bring up the screen, we just simply do it with the right stick. That to me is a big deal. And I'm hoping it makes the animations faster too. See it right here, simplified slide protection. Slide mechanics are now easier and more intuitive. Want to slide left, just tap slide left, right stick, slide left plus right stick left. I think, okay, so the way they worded that was weird. Want a full slide? Just double flick the right stick in the direction you want a full slide. I believe that just tap slide left plus right stick left. I think it's actually saying left stick and right stick both need to go in the direction that you want a half slide to, which is fair. So I was wrong. It's not just right stick, it's left stick and right stick for the half slide. And then for a full slide, it's double flicking the right stick in whatever direction you want to do. It'll probably take a second to get used to this, but especially if this skips some of the animations, this is like really good. Now, that's some of the biggest stuff that you may have missed in the Couch Bowl 26 deep dive. If you want to make sure you're winning games from day one in Couch Bowl 26, you gotta check out my website, civil.gg. We have over 2,000 active members, and right now you can lock yourself in for the entire year, get 40% off everything we release for the next year. You'll lock it today with code COLLEGE40. We're doing a little pre-sale launch that's 40% off, and you'll have access to everything you need to win more games. I take what we do very seriously, and I'm very excited to go into next year. You also get all Madden content included with that, so that tickles your fancy. There you go.